doesn't work out in the end. So there's this new study out, and I don't know if they have the results fully yet, but they already have received the grant money. It's another one at UAB. Craig Monger there at 1819 News has the story. UAB gets $783,000 in a grant to discover what causes black people to relapse in smoking menthol cigarettes. The study is perhaps suggesting, quote-unquote, discrimination is a possible trigger. The University of Alabama at Birmingham is receiving over $750,000 to study the predictors of what causes black menthol cigarette smokers to relapse into the habit. Maybe it's because they're addictive, man. Maybe it's because it's packed full of nicotine. Why are all the dudes in the manosphere got lip pillows in with their nicotine pouches? They keep trying to quit, but they keep relapsing. They keep throwing that sweet, sweet nectar that is nicotine in their lip. It's receding their gums. Why is this? Is it possibly discrimination that is causing all these bras to put nicotine into their mouth? But the study is being conducted by UAB. Again, it's $783,000. $783,697 in total funds from the National Institutes of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services. The study will run until July of next year. So if you still say you're black and you smoke menthols and maybe you want to quit, get in touch with UAB. Well, actually, no. They're not even using people from Alabama. They're using folks from Arkansas. A study at UAB here in Alabama, I believe Birmingham is in Alabama, is not going to black folks that actually live in Alabama who smoke menthol cigarettes. They had to go to Arkansas, and they're being paid $750,000 to do it. Again, this is not that much money. Well, it is a lot of money, but it's not that much money compared to what the federal government hands out all the time, all day, every day. But it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. But maybe I'm being prejudiced. So according to the grant summary provided by the U.S. Department of the Treasury, the study is designed to determine what causes momentary lapses for black menthol smokers, stating that black cigarette smokers, 85% of whom it claims smoke menthol cigarettes, quote, suffer excess tobacco-caused morbidity and death, including cancer. It's a bad thing. It also states that black people have greater nicotine dependence. I mean, why don't we do a study on why goth kids, they're still around. Now they're Gen Xers and they're probably in their 50s at this point. But why are the goth kids continually to relapse and smoke clove cigarettes? What is going on here? And, clove's bad for your lungs, man. The study goes on to say that menthol versus non-menthol cigarette smokers, especially black smokers, have a greater dependence on nicotine and are less likely to quit smoking, despite having more quit attempts, the study reveals. This may be partly due to greater abstinence-induced declines in positive mood, affect, and nicotine cravings. I mean, I always crave a lip pillow right after I eat. I got to tell you, folks, and I'm not making this up, Chappie's Deli has chicken and waffles on their menu now, and the waffle, I think, is made with muffin mix. It's like I ate a big old cake with some spicy syrup. It was awesome. You know what I did after I ate my chicken and waffles with my Frank's Red Hot syrup? I put in a lip pillow. I wanted that nicotine hit because it's great. It's delicious. Like, why does it always have to be put in terms of a pathology? Like, why can't you just explain things with common sense? And why are you getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to conduct this thing? Maybe have you tried, and I don't know, have you tried asking people or just do a basic survey? However, the study continues to go on. There are limited data on the underlying mechanisms that explain smoking lapses among black menthol smokers. Prior studies have used ecological momentary assessment, EMA, to examine how negative effect, like a poor mood, nicotine cravings, like otherwise known as the urge to smoke, thank you for that, and contextual factors predict cigarette smoking lapse in real time. Understanding these underlying mechanisms will help us develop effective cessation intervention for black menthol smokers. Again, by the way, $780,000. There are a lot of black folks in Alabama, and I'm sure a lot of them smoke menthol cigarettes. Instead, they found 150 black folks from Arkansas, not Alabamians, who were menthol cigarette smokers ages 21 to 64 who plan to quit smoking in the next 30 days. Its stated goal is to increase successful smoking cessation among socially disadvantaged smokers. Oh, man. I want to talk to one of the 150. Like, how much are y'all getting paid? Because if you're going to pay me to study whether or not I quit smoking in the next 30 days, let's do it. And I still get paid if I don't quit, if I lapse, and then I explain to you, why. But part of the study's aims is its stated goal is to increase successful smoking cessation among socially disadvantaged smokers. So if you're, privileged and rich, give a damn about you, smoke away. Smoke them if you got them. Part of the study's aims is to determine if perceived discrimination could act as a moderator of the momentary effect of the relationship between nicotine craving and smoking lapse. We've come a long way from like novels like Invisible Man. We've come a long way, haven't we? My goodness. Let's go to the phones. 272-9228. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, Raconteur. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. You're talking about Chappie's having chicken and waffles. I'll have to try it out.
Yeah, tell them Joey sent you.
I will tell you that I have been to the original Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and it was life-changing.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, what's so special about it?
I don't know if it's the way they fry the chicken or just how they combine it. I mean, they were the original one to come out with a dish, and I haven't found anybody that's improved on what they've done.
Did you smoke a menthol cigarette afterwards?
No, but let's talk about food and UAB and studies.
Yeah.
From someone who I know who does Instacart shopping, UAB was conducting a study 3 or 4 years ago when we had a larger than normal immigrant surge into our nation. And the study was they were buying groceries for people who had crossed undocumented living here in Alabama and seeing if an all-organic or a specialized diet, how it affected their diabetic and GLP or their obesity levels.
Oh my God.
So we had a government agency. This is not just for not people in Alabama. This is for people who aren't U.S. citizens, and they're buying thousands of dollars a month in groceries for people just to see how it affected their obesity and diabetes levels.
Do you remember the results?
No, because I found out from the person who was actually delivering the food to the families.
Oh, okay. So wait, if you give people money, how is that going to affect their diabetes?
Oh no, they didn't even give them the money. They would, the dietitian from UAB would place an order at the local grocery stores in Montgomery and have it delivered by Instacart.
Oh.
So they would mandate like it had to be. So they would buy all fresh produce or organically grown produce or organically grown meats, chicken, beef, whatever. just to determine if that had an effect on their diet, because they figured that was a nice target base to experiment with.
I wonder if it worked. I mean, if you start eating a little better, maybe you'll get better in terms of your pre-diabetes and your actual diabetes. I mean, there's a lot of beaties out there these days.
Yeah.
So a few veggies, eating, I don't know, but you can still overeat healthy stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And, if they'd let me migrate to Belize and pay for all my groceries, I might think about it.
Yeah, it's just, it's amazing, like, how I cover these studies because I love these write-ups by Craig Monger at 1819 News. There's many angles to this. The waste of taxpayer money. Like, and again, this is a drop in the bucket. Truly is drop in the ocean for what the federal government spends. But you start adding enough drops, you eventually do get an ocean. And so it's a waste of taxpayer money. But then you get into, like, to me, I'm always struck by we've removed the human element of trying to figure out problems. Like, we're studying everybody like they're a rat in a cage. Or studying it like we have this physics envy. Like the same way Einstein tried to discover the depths and mysteries of the wide world, and including the theory of, say, gravity, we're going to treat a person and why they don't stop smoking or why they got fat and got diabetes in the same way with, like, and again, I'm being a little over the top because there's always a place for actually studying things, and science can be a very useful tool, but a lot of this stuff, you don't really need to run some grand controlled study that doesn't show you anything. You could more use like observation and logic of human beings.
Oh, I completely agree. And the fact that this year every man, woman, and child in the United States will have $4,000 of income that goes just toward paying interest on our national debt, not a dime on the debt or any other social programs or defense or anything else. It makes me have pause as to what we're spending money on from the government.
Absolutely. Well, and, again, not to go too deep into it, but I've been reading through St. Augustine's Confessions. It's 1,500-year-old work of literature. And I got to the point where he's talking about all his sins. And, of course, he had many sexual sins. But one big one he said that was really tough, like this sort of state of sin, it was eating. The things you eat. It's like, oh, wait, people understood this was a problem all the way back then? Fascinating. Like, just without a lick of any what we call so-called science these days.
Oh, yeah, we'll go even further back. If a man won't restrain his appetite, he should put a knife to his throat.
Yeah.
If he's given to gluttony. But we get away with it because we say, well, we have to eat to survive, so it can't be bad because I have to do this. And then while I'm doing it, I'll just do a lot of it. Right.
And I don't know, like the trying to understand why addictive things are really addictive. It's just like, okay, if you want to come up with new strategies to stop people from smoking menthols, man, go for it. But it just seems like because we talked to 150 black folks from Arkansas about their smoking problems for 30 days, we're going to need about $1 million to run that study. It just seems like a racket to me.
Exactly. Well, then you got to pay the experts to figure out which 150 people, and if 150 people is enough of a sample size, and then you've got to crunch the data afterwards, and then you've got to publish, and then you got to do the press photo ops and everything else. So that's a lot of money in hairstyle and makeup and wardrobe.
Yeah, man, there's a lot to all this stuff, and that's just one of the many. I mean, you could add a trans element to this. I'm sure trans black individuals who smoke menthols are underrepresented in the sample size, so we're going to need another $1 million to study that.
Well, no, that'll be $2 million because we'll have to do an extra $1 million to have people come out because then we'll also have to start a don't be mad against trans people movement to encourage them to come out and apply for the study. You
don't need a lot of excuses to like nicotine. I certainly don't. So, maybe gender dysphoria is a good excuse. Like, I don't really know. I'm in the wrong body. I've had this since I was very young. I'm going to smoke cigarettes, doc. Maybe that's better than, hormone therapy and surgery.
Well, you can always quit menthols, supposedly. That's what they're working on, but you can't quit life-changing, body-changing surgeries.
Right. It's just, I don't know. We have lost our way, and we covers all sorts of manner of sins and all sorts of weird things that are going on in this world. But the modern, I guess that's the way I would put it. The way that moderns talk about modern things, it seems like such a farce these days, and like people are grasping for meaning and finding none.
Well, we're fighting over whether or not the ball should be moved because we can't hit it into the woods and it may be next to an endangered salamander instead of going, hey, just keep the ball in the fairway and we'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe it's we're too rich. Maybe we're just too rich, and people got to find stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I have to find food or I die, or I've got everything I need. So and the weather's fine in Southern California. What else can we worry about?
Yeah, no, and I heard it many moons ago. Talkos I used to work with say, nobody cares about your gender identity when you're dying on the Oregon Trail. I don't know. There's just something about necessity and actually having to live that we always find new ways to screw things up, even with all the accomplishments.
Agreed.
Anyway, I appreciate the call, Rack Hunter.
Hey, mate, have a good one.
Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
Simpler days.
Hey, Simpler Days. You ever smoke menthols?
No, I don't think. I probably secondhand. I rode with enough and worked with enough people over the years that smoked menthol. I probably suffer from secondhand menthol.
Oh, but can I admit something before you go into what you called about?
Sure.
You know what got hooked me on tobacco?
Tell me.
I was working. It was my first summer, I believe. Yeah. First summer at Parks and Rec. And it's in this one truck. And Terrell, who was going to play football for Troy, but got injured. So he actually got, while he's working for the city, he was training up on doing upholstery and like working on cars and stuff. And I always loved the smell of the black and mild he do during our lunch break. And our lunch break sometimes would be like 2-3 hours. And I was like, well, give me one of those things. So I got hooked on nicotine and tobacco from Black and Milds. I confess.
I got hooked smoking another way. I had a partner that smoked straight Camels, no filter.
Ooh.
And he would pull the pack out, and then he'd pull the cigarette out, and then he had a lighter. And he'd tap the cigarette to pack the tobacco with the lighter. And I looked at his lighter one day, and it was one of those that had the girl with a hula skirt on it.
Yeah.
And you'd shake it one day, and it'd come down, and then it'd go back up. So that caught my eye, and I said, well, that's probably a pleasurable experience.
Right.
But anyway, isn't it ironic that the government subsidizes the farmers to grow tobacco, and now we're spending this money, and I used to deal in grants either at the police department or at the DA's office, and they're always the first thing you had to do was show a need. And so I guess there's not a need in Alabama, so they had to go to Arkansas to be able to show the need because they couldn't find enough. But it just seems to me, Joey, a better study that UAB could do on young black males, or why are they shooting and killing each other in Birmingham and Montgomery? And they've got a huge population to draw from there.
And I worry the scientists would look everywhere except for, maybe the Old Testament and the New Testament, as well as, a lot of great traditions that are in our long history as a people. Maybe things like despair and anger and wrath and like all the classics. They tend to explain everything. But no, we'll do a sociological study on why a particular income class, blah, 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 and come up with all these cross sections. It's like you're not even talking about people anymore.
Well, the thing about these grants is if you don't use, so you don't have enough people in the study, or you don't use all the money, Joey, and you try to send it back, then they slap your hand and they say, oh, no, you can't do that. Because then Congress won't allocate, UAB, whoever the foundation is, they won't allocate money for next year if you do that. So just don't say anything and keep the money and find some other cause to use it for.
Amen.
You can come up with a reason, and that's why those grants are just so non-productive.
And, whenever I start getting down on the scientists, they reel me back in simpler days. I'm looking at a headline from the New Yorker. Scientists once thought the life-sustaining oxygen existed only near Earth's surface. Then they detected it deep underground. The mystery of dark oxygen. Okay, man.
I wish they would do a really solid study on people expelling gas. I think that would really be interesting. And you would have a large population to draw from.
Yeah, no, we covered that. There was an Australian, seriously, there was an Australian university, I think the University of Maryland, and they came up with this underwear that tracked flatulence throughout the day, and it was about, on average, 5 a day. But here's the problem with their study. They didn't have enough participants for 65 and up. And I'm like, I got a feeling your numbers would have been a lot higher on average if you had included that cohort.
Amen, brother.
Amen. They use it for propulsion to get out of the chair. Appreciate it. Thank you. 272-9228. I'm not joking. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Sam calling from Pike County.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, man, Joey, the white, you look sharp, brother. And
thanks,
the
man.
floral display, that's not bad. I got y'all on while I'm in the kitchen.
I like flowers.
Hey, no, man, it's my mother was garden club. I know the good from bad. That's pretty good. It looks nice. The cigarettes, I'm giving a shout out. I'm giving a call out to all those that are incarcerated in the Alabama penal system. You need to get in on this study, this program. This guy that's sitting on all these free cigarettes, menthol cigarettes. I saw where Craig Monger had posted that, where the Department of Corrections, they're floating the idea. Yeah,
that's the follow-up story from Craig we're going to get to in a second.
Okay, I apologize.
No, but you go ahead. You should say what you found from that.
I saw it posted on YouTube, a document or something. I just scanned it, okay, so I don't have the details, but basically someone wants to ban tobacco in the AODC, Alabama Department, ADOC. Yeah, brother, I'll let you run with that. But
yeah, it's
anyway, that's what it hit me. Yeah,
it's a new smoke-free initiative scheduled to be rolled out in phases. You can't do it all at once in a prison.
No, man. Yeah.
But however, the new Governor K.I.V. Correctional Complex will start tobacco-free, sugar.
Mm-hmm. Meemaw, she wants the best for all of us. That's it.
Man.
There was something other. BD. When you said that about cloves, Joey, you know I'm nuts, right? Years ago, back when I used to run long distance, you would take the clove, the big chunk, the actual clove, and you freshly grind it. You put a little into a reusable tea bag. You stick it up. Yes, man, like a skull bandit in your cheek, and you walk around an hour or so, and anyways, it would supposedly help open up the lungs and
destroy the lungs.
I think it just runs my blood pressure up. But
I've tried it all. I remember I started with the Black and Milds, and I got into cigars, then tried some clove cigarettes, then got into like Red Man Golden Bloom Chew, and then got into dipping, and it started with the apple flavor from Skull, but then it went to just give me Copenhagen. I'm already drunk, and and now it's went to pouches, like the Grizzly Wintergreen pouches.
I never mastered the grid.
Then the snooze, and now I'm on these, like the Zen, the On brand is what I usually use. And talking about it, I kind of want to put one in.
Okay, yeah. Well, one last shot. Let's go for the harshest. Did you ever try a BD cigarette? I was looking them up. I haven't had them in a while, and I think they've been banned. But they were just little piece of leaf rolled around. But they had clove. They had a variety. They had anything you think of, but they were just super strong, tiny little things. All right, listen. Thank you for your time, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Stay out the heat.
Let's go to a break real quick. We got to hit this break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and his team are ready to help you with buying or selling here in the River Region real estate market. Bo has been working in the Montgomery and surrounding areas for about half a century now. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling property, home, land, but they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. Great idea in this market. Why not, for a reasonable fee, have a great company manage that rental for you? So if you want to learn more, you can always go online to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. We'll Come back to the phones right after this break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Lou Quire.
Don't let plumbing problems drain your wallet or back up your day. Lou Quire's experienced plumbers can get there right away. Call the pros the Montgomery area has trusted for decades to get things done right. Lou Quire offers 24/7 emergency service so your home can run smoothly day and night. License number 22154.
Whatever you require, call Lou Quire right now.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, dangerous heat continues for the next few days. Heat advisory in effect. Mostly sunny today and for the next few days with a high temperature up to about 97 today, 99 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Heat index each day in the 105 to 110 danger range, and the lows at night in the upper 70s. Now, the daily rain chances are not zero, but very small in any given town. Most days 20% or less right on through the upcoming weekend and beyond. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
So, Joe, what'd you do today? Somebody might ask me. It's like, well, went to church in the morning. Y'all are always welcome to join me in Mass, 6:30 at St. Pete. I'm serious. But then, got ready for the show and went and ate some chicken and waffles and then talked about a study on menthol cigarettes. I'm doing good today. Let's go to Clint. Hey, Clint, how you doing?
Good day, Mr. Sir.
You ever smoke menthols?
Yeah. Well, I got up, had breakfast, and took a good walk. So
that's good.
There you go. Had a good little workout.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Eggs and grits, toast.
Sounds good.
It's good. But talking about smoking, I smoked since I was 19. And I'm 72 now. and I enjoy smoking. My favorite cigarette is Winston.
Winston.
My worst cigarette is Lucky Strike, non-filter.
What's the difference? Like, why is Winston so good and Lucky Strike just at
Well,
the
it's not
bottom?
as strong. A filter cigarette is not as strong
Okay.
as a non-filter. And you get more tobacco out with a non-filter. Well, more nicotine. You know. I guess you do. You know. I
Well,
don't know if you
nicotine
do or
has health benefits to it. Now, I would say the
It sure
delivery
does.
matters. The delivery matters a great deal. And then, of course, you can find studies saying, no, that's just big tobacco produced those studies again. They've got you by the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy smoking, but if you go to Saudi Arabia, try their cigarette. That's the worst, strongest cigarette I've ever had.
Really?
They
What
ain't
do you
worth
think
2
was in
cents.
there?
Oh, no, it's strong cigarette, dude. If you smoke 3 or 4, it make you drunk.
I remember having some, I liked hookah for a while. And I remember trying some, like, legit stuff. Like, anyway, there was 2 Saudi royals who were at the University of Alabama, and they were having some, like, bachelor party, which was really, we ate one of their desserts and we smoked hookah.
Yeah.
And, man, that stuff will knock you on your ass. Like the tobacco, whatever it was they had in there. Woo!
We didn't like it too well, but hey, I got a question. When I was a young man, well, younger. Was told that the Marlboro man, he smoked Winston and not Marlboro. Maybe there's somebody out there on the radio that can answer that question, yes or no.
The Marlboro man smoked Winston's.
Yes, but he was. I think they charged Winston for his lung cancer. I'm saying he died from cancer. They said from smoking cigarettes. So maybe you get a call on that. I don't know. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Clint. That's a good question. That's a good mystery. That he didn't even smoke his own brand. Huh. I wonder if that's true. I'm not seeing anything from searching for it immediately, Clint, but I'm seeing some of the old school advertising, and I can see why they banned it because, damn, they look cool. Let's go to Pat. Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Good morning. Actually, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I got my truck from work and heard Simpler Days talking about you got to use it, spend the money or give it back, and I had a 50-year flashback. I'm a second lieutenant at Columbus Air Force Base in August of 1976, waiting to start flight school. And I had a 5-month wait, so they had me in the procurement office working a what they call a casual job. And my captain came in one day and he hands me a notebook and he says, "There's a contract in there somewhere that will paint government furniture. I need you to find it. We gotta spend $75,000." I said, "Excuse me, Captain Putman, what are you talking about?" He said, "We got to spend $75,000, and so we're going to paint all the metal furniture on Columbus Air Force Base." And I said, "Captain, why don't we just save it and I'll get promoted to first lieutenant early and we'll be heroes?" He goes, "Lieutenant, it don't work that way. If I don't spend that $75,000, they'll cut my budget next year by $75,000 because they'll figure that I inflated it this year. So go ahead and paint all that furniture." And we did, and it looked good for about 2 weeks, and we basically wasted $75,000.
The old use it or lose it bureaucratic rule.
Yep. And I had one other thought when Sam from Pike County called in and talked about how this new prison is going to be tobacco free.
Yeah.
No, it won't be. There will be tobacco in that prison.
Which shows you just how addictive it is, by the way.
Oh yeah, like I said, they will not keep tobacco out of that prison. It will find a way in, and it'll just.
But apparently they're saying it's not just cigarettes. It's going to be all tobacco in prisons. The first phase will include Elmore, Franklin, Kilby, and Staten correctional facilities. ADOC canteens will stop selling tobacco products starting on September 1st. They will still sell Nicoderm patches and Zen pouches, which ADOC claims will aid in tobacco cessation efforts. Well, no, or you're just going to, like me, you're just going to get addicted to the lip pillows. But, yeah, good luck with that, fellas.
Yep. So Anyway, enjoying your show when I can hear it. You have a blessed day.
You too, Pat. Thanks. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is John from Wetumpka. How you doing today?
I'm all right, John. How you doing?
Good, good. Wanted to weigh in on this grant thing. There's one rule, and I've been involved in grants. I've gotten grants. One thing you need to know about, especially research grants, that you'll always see that is true, and that is the continuing need for study and more money.
Mm-hmm.
They will never come up with and say, oh, there's no problem here. We can go ahead to something else because we're going to stop this one. That won't happen.
Or just straight up like, we figured it out. Good job. Like, no. No. There's always more.
And here's one of our problems with all of this, with the grants, the money that the government spends and everything, is that we're immune to the size of the numbers. And what I mean by that, I'm 63 years old. When I was a kid, $1 million seemed like a pile of money from here to the moon. And then, we moved forward and things got higher and we spent more money. So billions was the big number. That was the attention-catching number.
Yeah.
And now we don't think about it unless it's in trillions.
Yeah.
So we're kind of immune to the size of the money. And when the government starts throwing money around, or companies or anything else for that matter, you see what I'm saying? We have a list.
They're starting that it's the most apparent way, if you think about it for a second, that I would say the government and the well-connected cronies at the top of the heap have been stealing from everyday people for generations.
Yeah. Well, I looked up this figure when you were talking about this. It said the Government Accountability Office found that with regard to grants, there was $51.1 billion in improper payments, including overpayments, inaccurate record keeping, or fraud. That's just in Medicaid.
Wow.
Okay, $51 billion is a pretty good size pile of money, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. So, and that's just in corruption.
Yeah, and the city of Montgomery, for the municipality, would love to have money like that. Like any city, small city would love to have money like that. You could do a lot of things. You really could, but nope.
They would screw that up too, though.
All right.
Even if you gave them that much money, they still find a way to mess it up.
Yeah, I worry about that some days too. Anyway, I appreciate it, John.
Take care.
Yeah, and speaking of the money losing value, where it used to be $1 million was a lot, and like even in the 90s, if I had $1 million, what was that? The Bare Naked Ladies? And then it becomes a billion's a lot, $1 billion. Like in Austin Powers, they address that. Dr. Evil does. And now it's $1 trillion is the most. It shows the government is stealing from you. We've been losing value in our actual money for a long, long time. And I believe Rand Paul just toured Fort Knox. He said the gold's still there, to their credit. But it just reminds us that since 1971, since we went off the gold window, the money, the dollar, has lost 86% of its value. So unless you're invested in some fund or you're a whiz with real estate or something, you're not keeping up. Like all that money you're trying to save, it's just losing value. And so if you want to get, a little bit of a hedge, and maybe it's for like just raw economic reasons, you want a long-term store of wealth, or maybe you really love history and you love collecting, check out a brand new sponsor of ours, folks, called Eclectic Coins. Doug was on the show earlier this week and really enjoyed talking with that guy. And he set up a great shop here in Montgomery, just off of the Northeastern Boulevard, 543 Northeastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And they offer free appraisals, estate liquidations, coin grading services, especially like you got something you don't quite know what it is, they can help you there. And they have a large inventory there. I was looking, historic bills, like really, really cool stuff that goes way back in our own country's history, back when the dollar really did hold its value, as well as historic coins that I think he's got one that's 700 years old in those places. Like, really, really cool stuff. And then commemorative coins, maybe you're more into Marvel or Batman or Spider-Man, DC or Marvel. Maybe you're into sports teams or Fender guitars even. There's a lot of cool commemorative stuff that is still gold and silver, that has that underlying gold and silver value. And don't forget, we talked about gold backs. So they look like dollars, but they literally have laid within the bill itself gold, like so a tenth or 1/1000th of a troy ounce of gold. So the underlying value there, these are privately minted, but then backed and approved, let's say, by different states. So Florida's printing them, Idaho's printing them. Very cool stuff. So again, whether you're looking for historic coins, commemorative coins, just stackable gold and silver, usable perforated sort of gold and silver, gold backs, they got your back there at Eclectic Coins. And of course, if you just inherited a lot, they do free estate appraisals and grading. They can help you out. So check them out today. Again, that's Eclectic Coins. You can always go to eclecticcoins.com or just stop by 543 Northeastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And remember, Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go. Yeah, once you meet Doug, you're like, oh, this guy's great. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Joey from Prattville.
Hey, Joey from Prattville. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing today, brother?
I'm all right. You know, we're talking about all sorts of stuff today.
Yep. Well, while I sit here and smoke my cool cigarette, wanting to know why a white man wasn't selected for this survey, because I've tried to quit several times and couldn't do so. So I'm a little bit
You're hooked on
irritated
cools?
that. I've smoked cools pretty much my entire life.
Yeah. No, there was a time where, what's the one that you crush it at the
Camel.
The Camel Crush.
has the crush.
Yeah,
in
college. Oh yeah.
My wife actually smokes the Camel Crush menthol, and I smoked. They wasn't the new Cool Black they came out with, but I smoked Cool Short in the box. My uncle used to smoke. They used to call them super longs. Now they call them 100s. But it used to be the old Cool super longs, and my uncle smoked them. I always hung out with him during the summer, and that's how I picked them up way back. Hell, I was 10, 11 years old, something like that. I don't know.
So how many decades then has it been?
Huh?
How old are you now?
55.
So it's been 4 decades that you've been smoking
Pretty much.
cools. And have you tried to stop before?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But here's the funny thing: is I've been to jail on a few occasions.
Yeah.
And some of them are non-smoking facilities, and if I go into one of them, it never really it don't bother me.
Right.
I don't have a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I walk out that door, the first thing I want is a cigarette.
Yeah, I can switch. I can quit nicotine, but you literally have to lock me in a cage and take away my freedom.
I mean, you do. But back to an earlier caller, the original Marlboro Man. I remember seeing a special on NBC. I want to say it was NBC Dateline or something. What's the nightly thing they do?
Yeah, Dateline, I think.
Is it that Dateline? It was back in, I want to say the late 90s, like 97, 99, somewhere in that time frame. The original Marlboro Man never smoked a cigarette a day in his life.
Really?
The original Marlboro Man, the way he was even selected, he was selected back in 1954. He was the campaign people saw him in a picture with John Wayne. He was a rancher in Colorado. And they saw a picture of him and said, that is the perfect cowboy. And they made him the campaign guy. And he was in the ads for like 10, 15 years, something like that. And he quit the ads because his kids started asking him why he did that, but yet always told them not to smoke.
Yeah, his name's Robert Bob Norris. Was the first television Robert C. Norris and print Marlboro Man. Never smoked a cigarette in his life. He appeared in the tobacco ads for 12 years. Wow, before quitting the ads.
I remember seeing that on Dateline or so. It was NBC that I saw it. I remember that from the late 90s.
Yeah, I think it was NBC, and it says, discovered by the ad executives at his 63,000-acre Colorado ranch after they saw a newspaper photo of him, as you said, with John Wayne. Wow.
They did an interview they had an interview with him where he talked about some of the memories with John Wayne and everything. He was a pretty cool dude, but he actually quit because his kids were asking him. He always told his kids not to smoke.
Yeah, and apparently he lived all the way to 90.
Yeah.
Was a rancher and a philanthropist his whole life.
Now, there were a couple of the models that, like, from the 70s and the 80s and whatnot, and I don't know what brand of cigarettes they smoked, but I do know that they died of cancer and stuff.
Yeah.
But the original Marlboro Man never smoked a cigarette a day in his life.
Well, the more you know, folks. Well, I appreciate it.
That's the only reason I remember it, because it was just so odd. Wait a minute. The dude that sells cigarettes basically don't smoke them.
Yeah, it's almost like these big tech firms that don't let their kids on social media.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, don't it?
Indeed, it does. Well, I appreciate the call, dude.
Have a good one.
272-9228. It's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They can help you with any and all of your plumbing needs. And it could be a big job, like a massive water leak inside or outside your home, or God forbid something like a gas line leak, which that's real dangerous. You should get on top of that immediately. But if it's a big job, they're not going to make an extra mess. What they're going to do is be able to find the leak, find the problem with precision and expertise without tearing out a bunch of drywall, digging up a huge trench or hole in your yard. But they can find it with that precision, and with that expertise, they can, fix it. And then, of course, they can help you with smaller things like a drippy faucet. That's no fun. Or a toilet, like the flapper doesn't work anymore. Or maybe you got clogged drains that you tried everything that you know how to do, and they're still clogged. Could be you need a new garbage disposal, or you want to upgrade to like a taller toilet or a tankless water heater system. They can help you with all that there at Cole Plumbing. So check them out today. Just call them up at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole. So I think in the 2 o'clock hour, an hour from now, give or take, Troy Carrico will be joining us. And I think we'll get the whole band back together on Friday. Eddie and Troy will be here tomorrow. But I think I'm going to keep flying solo on Mondays. And we're just trying new things, trying to change things up here or there and try to bring on more, different voices, a little more different onto the program, at least to keep things fresh for me, if that makes any sense. And there's so many weird, crazy things going on in this world. I'm sure if I just took a little extra effort, I could find some pretty cool cats to bring on these airwaves to do some talking about how crazy this world has become. No surprise, by the way, that Alabama's special primary that just happened this week sees decade-low turnout. And this is, of course, growing GOP general election fears, and Jeff Poore was telling me this, singing this song yesterday. I don't know. I think it's the first day of school for kids. People's minds just ain't on it. You can tell. And people try. Okay, I haven't tried. Katie Britt was here even, trying. Get people out there, and it was only like 5%, something like that. Pretty insane. Speaking of chicken and waffles, by the way, Chappie's has got a new chicken and waffles dish, but Chick-fil-A, it looks like, has brought out what is that? Is that like waffle buns? Yeah, chicken and waffles dish. So it's like waffle buns and the regular Chick-fil-A filet fried up with some bacon. And ooh, that looks like syrup. And the waffles are maple flavored. That sounds. Oh, no, and they have a tasty honey butter spread as well. Oh, I already ate enough of it. And they have, you can get the filet spicy. Now that sounds awesome. Sounds like a good way to put on some weight and get that diabetes, but that also sounds awesome. So we could talk about that more, but I think that's enough for now. But we also have stories of perverts. We have stories of Cornell having to ban processing wild game on campus after there was a bear butchering incident. That's at least what the headline reads. OpenAI, the ChatGPT company, a lot of people leaving the company, and guess who they just lost? Head of ethics. Well, how's the ethics department doing at this new experimental technological company? Well, we lost the head of ethics. Of course, we can do an update on Iran. I think I'll wait for Carrico to get here. And if you missed it yesterday, Caroline Leavitt is to step down as White House press secretary at the end of August, and there is a full court press on the possible successors emerging to take over that job once she leaves. And I haven't seen any big reasons, but my guess is she wants to be a mom. And I think that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Oh, and also, if you're worried about flock cameras, there's a new, quote-unquote, adversarial pattern that can prevent surveillance cameras from detecting you. So I have a feeling we're going to have a new fashion trend in the United States of America. And by the way, doesn't it seem like, you remember how you do like 60s Day or 80s Day, even 90s Day? Like there was a true shift in how people dressed and presented themselves. And I guess that's still going on to a degree, especially with AI. You can be like, make so-and-so a Zoomer, and you can see him with all the tattoos and like the clothes and stuff, like the jeans that are slightly baggy and the kind of loose midriff thing, the nose ring. But then a professional stare. The Zoomers are a heck of a generation. But it does seem like the shift in like true fashion and change stopped at like 2010. I don't know what that is. It's weird. It's like everything just went to kind of gray. So maybe in trying to fight back against this mass surveillance state that's being built up around us, people are going to go to plaid, literally. We'll get into that after the top of the hour break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Caroline Leavitt is stepping down as White House press secretary. Leavitt says she wants to focus on raising her young family. That includes a 2-year-old son and a 3-year-old. Born this year, I should say 3-month-old, born obviously just 3 months ago when she took respite from her White House duties and recently came back. Despite the move, she is expected to remain a very trusted advisor to the president moving forward. Customers are beginning to get their money back after the Supreme Court overturned major Trump-era tariffs. Shipping giants FedEx and UPS are passing government-issued refunds to importers who originally had to pay the fees. The court ruled those tariffs imposed under emergency powers could not stand and ordered repayment of the collected duties as well. New surge of extreme heat gripping parts of Western Europe. Britain and France now experiencing their 5th heat wave of the summer. This is SRN News.
When it comes to our cars, those infotainment screens, turbos, advanced transmissions, and cameras are all great until they fail. And if your car is out of warranty, repairing them can cost thousands. I'm Danica Patrick. If your car is less than 20 years old, no matter the mileage, make sure you're covered for auto repair bills with an auto protection plan from Endurance. They've paid out hundreds of millions in claims and helped drivers with plans that cover engine, drivetrain, electrical system, transmission, and more. Endurance gives you straightforward claims processing and direct payment to your certified mechanic. And your rate won't go up no matter how many claims you file. When your check engine light comes on, don't ignore it because you're worried about a big auto repair bill. Call Endurance and choose the plan that's right for you. Act now and get 1 year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
For your free quote, call 800-292-8705. 800-292-8705. 800-292-8705.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions and Endurance warranty.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Win a BMW X7 or your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25,000 free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, dangerous heat continues for the next few days. Heat advisory in effect. Mostly sunny today and for the next few days with a high temperature up to about 97 today, 99 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Heat index each day in the 105 to 110 danger range, and the lows at night in the upper 70s. Now, the daily rain chances are not zero, but very small in any given town. Most days 20% or less right on through the upcoming weekend and beyond. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The state of Alabama is scheduled to execute 42-year-old Jeremy Williams by lethal injection tonight. Williams was convicted of the brutal rape and murder of a 5-year-old girl in Russell County in 2021. Williams requested the death penalty during his sentencing hearing in 2024 and has since waived all appeals. An Auburn manufacturing facility is expanding its operation. Governor Kay Ivey announced Wednesday 2A USA plans to invest $32 million in their Auburn plant, creating another 50 jobs in the area. 2A USA is an Italian aluminum die casting company that supplies components for the automotive industry. A $2,500 reward is being offered for information that could lead to an arrest in the recent murder of Jerichu Hinkle. Hinkle is one of 2 victims who were shot on the evening of August 8th in the 3000 block of Woodley Road. Hinkle later died of his injuries at a local hospital. Anyone with information regarding the murder of Jerichu Hinkle is urged to contact authorities. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
Beyond the forecast with meteorologist Ben Lang on the 2023 Selma tornado.
We were here in the studio. The tornado didn't hit us. We were just fine. We're still able to go to work the next day, but for other people, their lives have been upended. That's really tough. It is a big deal to be able to use my knowledge about what's going on with the weather to hopefully be able to keep folks safe.
Ben Lang, part of the Action 8 weather team, your weather authority.
Hey y'all, it's Rooster with Rooster's Muffler Moore in Prattville. Ever since I've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting, my parking lot's been full. Y'all come see me right here at Rooster's Muffler and More on South Memorial Drive in Prattville.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even play.
Shut up, silly woman. If you get a cough, please leave the room. I got hairy legs.
Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And I was going to go to something fairly serious and poignant. But first, let's go to something stupid and political. Now, I might have, like Trump might have, like we all of us might have, once in a while, engaged in a lot of hyperbole. Like we might be a little hyperbolic from time to time. Like, especially when we're talking about the other side. And sometimes you hear things and you're like, is this actually true? Now, if we're going to be equal opportunity offenders and say we kind of have this overarching government that would have made somebody like Alexis de Tocqueville say, yeah, y'all are under a despotism of some sort. A government that manages almost every need from cradle to the grave, that controls your money, that regulates every aspect of your life, that has a global empire with technology never before seen. Maybe it existed before the pyramids were built. Who knows? Maybe Graham Hancock's right that it was like some super race of aliens or something that actually built the pyramids. But who cares? The point is, you could look at like what America has become and say there's a sort of soft authoritarianism or despotism there. But then you look at like China and you look at like Russia, like Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Iran and UAE and a lot of Europe these days, especially with Europe's speech laws and the way things are just going generally over there. And you go, well, I'll take our soft despotism all day, every day. So if you want to be this sort of like, what's the word? Magnanimous, great-souled individual that's willing to see the faults and the flaws of all our growing systems and how it's destroying our inner humanity, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, black or white. You know the drill. Cool, I'm down with that. But if you're going to try to say, like, it's just the other side, man. And not even like, I prefer this side I prefer their type of soft despotism to their soft despotism. We play that game all day. There's some choice there. But when instead you just kind of point out an entire region, just a particular region in the country, and we're not talking about California or Nevada or Arizona. We're not talking about the Southwest. We're not talking about Seattle or Washington State, Oregon. We're not talking Portland. We're not even talking the Dakotas or New England. We're talking the South, baby. And so here is a big old Southerner who had a failed candidacy for governor in Georgia. You know what I'm talking about. And I think she got paid big bucks. Big bucks. Stacey Abrams, like a lot of her nonprofits, got paid big bucks. And she got a cameo in that crap Star Trek show that they put out there. They tried everything to help this woman. They tried everything. Put her in Star Trek. Maybe that'll up her approval ratings. They tried it all. And it seemed like whatever approval rating she did garner, she ate it all. Of course, I'm talking about Stacey Abrams. And Stacey was on with Kamala Harris. Isn't she so good looking?
I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Well, here is Stacey talking to Kamala about...
and I know you've been spending a lot of time in the South recently. Yeah. You've been to Tennessee and Louisiana and North Carolina.
So spending a lot of time in the South lately. So what has Kamala learned in the South?
And I know you've been spending a lot of time in the South recently. Yeah. You've been to Tennessee and Louisiana and North Carolina. Yeah. And what I tell people when they want to understand what authoritarianism can look like in the U.S., I say look south. We have lived under soft authoritarianism, I would say, since 1776.
Now, the ironies of this are many. Oh, they are many. Like this idea that there are definitely people, there are some Southerners like, Stacey's finally getting it. We've been living under that soft authoritarianism from the Yankee for ages. I don't think that's, I don't think Stacey's going to be invited to speak at the Abbeville Institute anytime soon. So there's that aspect of it. But And it's been since 1776. Like, nothing changed. The soft authoritarianism didn't go away after the Civil War. It didn't go away after Reconstruction. It didn't go away after the 1960s and the Civil Rights Movement. Nothing has changed. It's just oppression down here in the South. And it's not just the oppressive heat. It's this authoritarian. They're so genteel. They're so hospitable. They'll invite you in for sweet tea, but then they'll talk bad about you behind your back. It's so authoritarian here. Then why is it? Well, I'm going to hear it again. Play it again.
And I know you've been spending a lot of time in the South recently. You've been to Tennessee and Louisiana and North Carolina. And what I tell people when they want to understand what authoritarianism can look like in the U.S., I say look south. We have lived under soft authoritarianism, I would say, since 1776.
Okay. Then why? Especially, say, in the last 5-6 years, why is it that everybody has moved south? By everybody, I mean billionaires, working class folks, middle class folks, comedians, interior designers, florists. They've all moved to the South. In fact, a lot of Yankees have moved south. A lot of hippy-dippy stoners from California have moved south. A lot of brilliant people have moved south. Why is it then? It was, I guess, Freddie, the guy who just made it, had the trip of a lifetime for the World Cup. I guess Freddie just didn't see the authoritarianism when he was on the loveliest village in the plains in Auburn. And he watched a soccer game, and then he goes down and he sees the Gulf of America, the coast of the Gulf of America. He didn't think about how oppressive it is, how terrible it is. What is that again, Stacey?
Look like in the U.S. I say look south. We have lived under soft authoritarianism, I would say, since 1776.
And you know how they keep you down? Menthols. You know how they keep you down? All the fried food. You know how they keep you down? Crappy public schools. No wonder. I mean, she's a failed candidate. And like I said, they tried everything. They tried everything with Stacey Abrams. Everything. And they tried everything with Kamala. They tried it all. And like, I'm looking at these two right here, and I don't think that's the future of the Democratic Party. I have a sense it's going to be a lot younger than this. It might be AOC with her Latina power or something like that. Actually, I don't think it has anything to do with her being Puerto Rican. It has much more to do with people underestimate AOC, and I go back and forth on this, as y'all know. They underestimate her. I saw a great X write-up. Somebody just kind of posting their thoughts, and like that makes a lot of sense. That AOC essentially freezing her eggs and saying, I don't need no man, I'm an ambitious woman, but don't you talk about my ambition. And even though I'm posting all of this publicly, literally putting needles into my belly to, change hormone levels so I can freeze eggs, you better respect my privacy. Why are you doing it in public? But don't underestimate how many millions of women, of course not all women, but a lot, how many millions of women are being affirmed in their own decisions by AOC publicly doing all these things. Now, I would hope and pray it's not true, that this isn't going to work. But I would say, again, looking at these two, looking at Stacey Abrams and Kamala Harris, that ain't the future for the Democrats. Now, it might very well be like some young white dude who gives a good speech and like a Ossoff or whatever. I don't know. It's funny how y'all keep talking about like white men are the source of all our problems, and then you keep going like, well, let's go back to them. At least they get it. At least they're an ally. I just don't see it. Anyway, let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's Kilroy.
Hey, Kilroy. How are you?
All right. Help me out with something, because, as you know, I'm not very educated. So we've been under soft authoritarianism since 1776.
Yes.
Well, then explain to me, what were we under the literal king before that?
Hard authoritarianism.
Jesus, with these people.
And by the way, we've been under that soft authoritarianism since 1776. But after hundreds of thousands of people died and slavery was abolished, nothing changed. It's still here.
Nothing changed.
It's still here.
God, these people make me want to day drink, I swear.
And especially, we want to talk about authoritarianism. What about the COVID regime in the blue states? This is why everybody moved to the South.
What about socialism, democratic socialism? Like, it leads to authoritarianism, hard, true authoritarianism.
Yeah, and I hate to say it because it does boil down too much to one thing. I think they're just racist. I'm being serious. I think they just look at the South and they're like, what a racist place.
I mean, Stacey Abrams has to know better. She was a party's nominee in the South, lived here her whole life. They just play to the idiots. That's all I got, Joey.
Anyway, I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to something serious about a teacher in Texas just at his wit's end because he's teaching seniors and they can't read. But maybe that's the soft authoritarianism. It has nothing to do with decisions being made by all sorts of people in a voluntary way. Anyway, appreciate it, Kilroy.
Have a good one, man.
Don't day drink because I don't want my show to be the reason that happens.
Well, fine. I'll find a different excuse.
Good. Okay, just find a different reason to day drink. Just don't use me. Can't have that on my conscience. Thank you, Kilroy. 272-9228, 334-272-9228. So let's go to the fella who is actually as wit's end. This is from the Post-Millennial. This is a teacher in Texas named Darius Williams. Gets quite emotional while describing how high school seniors can't read or write. Now, I've been told of late I use too many words, or I've been told by some of y'all callers I talk in cursive sometimes, and fine, it's true, I'm sorry. Just happens. But when people can't do the basics, it makes me go, oh my God. What have we done to generations of people? What have we done? And especially when you go look at like what it used to take to pass 8th grade, what you were expected to be able to read, how you were expected to be able to write. Just listen to how the leaders of this country once spoke. Anyway, here's Darius Williams, a Texas teacher. And it's heartbreaking. Let's listen into him.
I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is.
Maybe it's, and I'm not blaming Darius here. I think he's trying his level best. But maybe in a more generalized way, not to speak in cursive, but we're giving the answers before the problem's even presented. The answers are ready-made. Everything's at the touch of a screen. You can find food. You can find all sorts of distractions, from things that are somewhat wholesome and silly to the downright depraved, if you want to tickle yourself, so to speak. It's all right there. Now, seriously, kids younger and younger, it's shocking to me, are addicted to porn, or at least seeing it at a younger age. And that's just one aspect of the culture. Just all the different distractions, all the different diversions. And as you're going about day to day, why do I need to actually study how to solve problems when the answers are just given to me? Well, perhaps we should start telling folks, you're not okay. It might seem like you're okay. You might be comfortable in the way you're living and how you're doing, but you're not okay. And none of us are okay, by the way. Problems are much deeper than what we have made them out to be in the luxuries of modern living. Let's keep going with Darius here.
This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read, and seniors who cannot write. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning.
Yep.
If it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, and they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls oh, God.
I mean, not to say it, but a lot of dumb white people can't read or write either. Especially in younger generations. And it seems to be tracking with the more we hand them technology, we hand them these screens to look at, not just as tools to help solve problems or tools to help them understand the depths of the world and the possibilities of this world, but screens to affirm them because the adults don't have time to. Or maybe the adults have tried, but they can't reach them, so just let the screen do it. This one part of it, where what was he saying? Right here in the center. Let's listen to this part again.
And they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it.
Shifting gears here. This is brilliant from Bishop Robert Barron on X. Apparently, the University of Michigan's College of Literature, Science, and the Arts has determined not to count letter grades towards its freshmen's GPAs during their first semester starting in 2027. Maybe it has something to do with what this high school teacher in Texas just said. The reason given is that this move will address the growing mental health crisis among young people. Nothing could be further from the truth. It will, in fact, exacerbate the crisis. Across cultures, one can discern a common pattern in the initiation rituals of primal peoples. The elders of the tribe rip a young person from the comfort of his home during the night. He is then scarified or otherwise physically marked in some way. A tooth is knocked out or his face is cut in order to impress upon him that life is difficult. Then he is introduced to the lore and history of his people. And finally, he is taken to the edge of the wilderness, given a few simple provisions, and told to make his way for an extended period of time. The entire purpose of the exercise is to break him free him from the dominance of his self-regarding feelings and to orient him to the achievement of objective goods. Plato famously compared the soul to a horse-drawn chariot. The animals represented the passions. And all these emotions. We got plenty of that these days, which provide energy for the vehicle. And the driver represents intelligence and refined moral consciousness. As long as the charioteer is in place, the chariot makes its way purposefully. But if the charioteer is kicked out, the horses will run amok. The passions will run amok. Our suicidally empathetic culture, which consistently privileges feeling over objective value, has produced armies of dangerously uninitiated young people. In terms of Plato's metaphor, it has given rise to lots and lots of chariots with no sense of direction, crashing into one another. Electing not to count first semester grades towards students' GPAs in order to spare the delicate emotions of 18-year-olds is, spiritually speaking, about as dumb a move as a university could make. That's just one example. But reading that, I would say that the initiation rituals, they're still going on. And you would hope that an initiation ritual that keeps a lot of people on the straight and narrow is, well, they are grafted onto a church with a loving family. They're direct kin, yes, they're parents. And they are taught to love God and love one another. And does everybody that goes through that initiation actually stick by those rules? Nope. And in fact, that's very much accounted for and expected. But at least you can plant those seeds. You can go beyond the church to a liberal education where you teach the kids about their history, about their lore, about the great stories and the music and the architecture and the fashion and all the ingenuity and great innovations that have been made by the generations that came before them, especially made in much harder times and through much tougher struggles, greater suffering than anything these kids could imagine. And you can try to show them that. Problem is we put kids through school, and oftentimes, even if you try to get a kid into the church, or you say, oh, go get a job and learn the real world, you put them through the corporate initiation process. You find they were already initiated by some other ritual that robbed them of having somebody to guide their passions and discern what's the best way to go in life. Now, it's never perfect. Never. And in fact, I think some of the best people we know maybe don't even know how to read and write. There are some really good people out there where you least expect it, folks. So I think sometimes we put way too much currency with high IQ individuals. The literal demons running big tech certainly show that. Yeah, y'all are smart, but look at the fruits you're bearing. But it seems like, whether it's through big tech and all the diversions and distractions, or it's literally, in the worst case scenarios, the initiation rituals on the streets. And you can't expect to live long. And you can't expect to just lay down and take it. To turn the other cheek, you got to go get the next guy before he gets you. What's the answer? Well, bring back the old initiation rituals and don't take no for an answer. And be willing to, yes, unsettle not just young folks, but a lot of folks who are fully grown. But how grown are you, actually? There's a lot of that. And I'm looking in the mirror when I say that. Like, perpetual childhood is a heck of a thing, ain't it? It's a fun thing to run towards. For a time. I don't know. I look at this face of this teacher crying, doing everything he can. Everything he can.
And they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write.
And of course, personal responsibility becomes the first thing here. Parental responsibility, being a true guardian, a provider and protector comes to bear here. But there are a heck of a lot of adults in positions of authority, even if that authority is small, that just pass these kids through. Pass them through. So yeah, we can say the kids ain't all right, because there are a lot of kids who ain't all right. But I think it's a reminder of how we're failing on a very broad level. 272-9228. You know, the heartening thing is places where it used to be the cliche, well, at least Alabama's better than Mississippi. Mississippi, is kicking ass in their reading and writing programs. They're whooping the Northeast. This has been a problem written about, documented in this country for generations. How do we get the Southerners to learn something once? Now, some of that, I think, is just stereotyping and prejudice. But the scores aren't made up necessarily. And to see Mississippi within just a few years say, nope, we're going to be at the top of the heap. We're going to expect more of our children. And not just expect more of our children, we're going to expect more of ourselves. As parents and as guardians to these kids that are supposed to initiate them into life. It can be done. It can. So let's get on it. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings. And I'm looking at something absolutely stunning. You know, I kind of love the Art Deco style, and maybe it's me being a long-time big fan of Ayn Rand and her sort of sense of that stuff. But if you go to Dylan Ring's Facebook page right now, or on Instagram or TikTok, you can follow him there. You can get a little piece of the Roaring '20s right on your finger. It's actually Art Deco jewelry. So these are Art Deco princess/dinner rings. At first glance, you might just see a beautiful vintage ring. There's actually a story behind this style. Art Deco jewelry came to life in the 20s and the 30s during the era of jazz, flappers, speakeasies, and the Roaring '20s. Designers were moving away from the soft, flowing curves of earlier jewelry and embracing bold geometry, symmetry, sharp lines, and lots of sparkle, baby. And so if you go to Dylan Ring's page, you can see this remarkable piece. And I guess I'm just partial to that sort of styling. I like it being a little ostentatious, so to speak. You know, if you're going to get diamonds, wear them big, but wear them beautifully as well. And you could be wearing a little piece of history if you get by Dylan Rings and go ask them about the Art Deco dinner ring. Stop by, check them out. They're at 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Lou Choir. Since 1983, we've treated you like family. Day or night, we do things right so you can live more comfortably. Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Lou Choir right now.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Mr. Electric of Montgomery. Mr. Electric, we've got the power to make things better. Visit MrElectric.com.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, dangerous heat continues for the next few days. Heat advisory in effect. Mostly sunny today and for the next few days with a high temperature up to about 97 today, 99 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Heat index each day in the 105 to 110 danger range, and the lows at night in the upper 70s. Now, the daily rain chances are not zero, but very small in any given town. Most days 20% or less right on through the upcoming weekend and beyond. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Okay, more than anything else you can think of. It'll turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. And let's go right to the phones and talk to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Joey. It's hot. It's hot.
It is. Too hot.
It's hot. Actually, it's hot every summer, really, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sitting and listening to you, Joey, all this is done by design, Joey.
You think so?
You know, keep these kids dumb. Yeah, think about it now.
Yeah.
These tech jobs you guys have been talking about lately, they'll never see one of those jobs. It's designed for these people to get these jobs, you know, down at the chicken plant and, you know, the jobs where they kick the Mexicans out of the country. You know, they design these jobs for these individuals who can read and write. And plus, the biggest thing, what I see, is they want to keep the citizens dumb, too, because they don't want me and you to read a sign that say gaming center. You know, we see a gaming center sign, and they've been telling us in the state of Alabama we can't gamble and all of that. But, you know, certain people can put signs on and say it's a gaming center, Joe. You see what I'm talking about?
I don't go to such institutions.
I know, but you see the sign.
Like, you talking about like Victoryland or Wind Creek, or what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Wind Creek, the only gambling spot that's legal in Alabama. Wind Creek, they call it a gaming center.
Right,
they don't say gambling. Like, intelligent people like you and I can read and write. We can know what the hell gaming, and we know what gambling means, right?
Sure.
So what are they doing in the state of Alabama? They're gaming or gambling?
They're gaming. Because gambling means that you and I could go to a blackjack table and spend all night playing blackjack or poker or roulette, but gaming means you go and you push a button and watch a screen, and hopefully you get rich.
But it's not gambling, though, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's gaming, though.
It's just gaming, right? Because it's bingo. It's games. It's just bingo, baby.
Right. Then they show up at Buckmasters. Hell, I may go down to Buckmasters weekend, right?
Yeah, why not? Like, there's so many things that are wrong with this place, man.
But what I'm saying, though, Buckmasters participate in all kind of stuff in the state of Montgomery. I mean, not Buckmasters, but Wind Creek.
Okay.
Participate in a lot of stuff in the state of Montgomery, at least. I don't know where they go outside of Montgomery, but they go to the fair. Do they go to the fair? I don't know if they go to the fair, but they go to the Buckmasters every year.
Well, but you're not picking on Wind Creek. You just want actual gambling, like.
No, they're the only one who allowed to gamble in the state of Alabama. They got one in Atmore, they got one in Wheaton, and they got one in the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they call it gaming center.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids getting confused too when they see that damn sign say gaming. They don't know any better. They can't read, right?
I don't know. I think you're being racist towards the Native Americans.
Huh? Well, hell. What if somebody shoe fit? If it shoe fit, if it fit, wear it. If it don't fit, cut a hole in it and slice it up and make it work. All right, I'm gone, young man.
Oh, later, dude. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. I got to hit another break here. But first, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you out. Whether you're looking to buy a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, they can walk you through the home buying process with confidence that you know you're going to get the best possible deal, especially because it all starts with pre-approval. Don't waste your time with online mortgage calculators or all the free, resources. Instead, get a pre-approval with Alabama Home Mortgage, so it's actually worth something. So you can actually shop with that confidence, and sellers will take you seriously, but they can stick with you all the way to closing day. And, of course, maybe you're already a homeowner and you've built up a lot of equity in your home, and you need it. You need to refinance for getting debt off your back or shoring up a retirement fund. It could be you want to remodel the house in some way. Well, it's money you built up. It's your money. Why not use it in a way that makes life better? Put it to work. So check out Alabama Home Mortgage today. And don't forget, they specialize in helping veterans with the VA mortgage program, still the best game in town. And if you're a veteran, you haven't taken advantage of the VA mortgage, you're leaving money on the table. So check them out today. You can always start the conversation at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies, folks. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Maybe you're doing well in sales, but you're ready for something bigger. At Blue Water Broadcasting, you'll help local businesses grow with customized marketing campaigns that combine the reach of 7 radio stations with powerful digital solutions. We're looking for someone who enjoys meeting people, earning their trust, and delivering results. If you're driven, professional, and ready to build a career, not just another sales job, we should talk. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com and send me your resume today. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So yesterday, the Trump administration decided to cut off, that's not the right word in this context, to not allow Medicaid to fund, let's say, experimental research or treatments, God forbid, in the name of radical gender ideologies. So here we have the vice president with the head of HHS, that's Secretary Kennedy, as well as the Surgeon General, and they're talking about this big change. They have a report that backs up essentially stopping the government funding this stuff. And the report contains some deeply disturbing allegations. So let's first get the general warp and woof of what they have to say.
Hey, everybody. This is Vice President J.D. Vance. I'm here with my friends and colleagues, of course, our great Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Admiral Brian Christine, the Assistant Secretary for Health. Parents bring their children to doctors because they trust them. They trust doctors to tell them the truth, and they trust hospitals to put their children ahead of ideology and profit. But when that trust gets violated, parents deserve to have a government that will stand up for them and for their kids and do something about it. Today, the Trump administration is proud to announce we're doing exactly that.
Today, HHS released Wolves in White Coats, a report examining pediatric gender medicine and insurance building across America. The findings raise serious questions about what families were told, what insurers were told, and how these procedures were built.
Today, Secretary Kennedy and I referred hospitals and clinics identified by this review to the Department of Justice and the HHS Inspector General for possible violations of federal law. These allegations are crazy and they demand investigation. When children may have been harmed and families misled, it's on those of us in power to find the truth and to seek justice for kids who are harmed by these doctors.
Under the previous administration, my predecessor, Richard Levine, promoted what he called gender-affirming care for minors, and there's nothing caring about that. These are sex-rejecting, mutilating, transgender procedures promoted by the Biden administration, and thanks to President Trump's leadership, we're changing course. The Wolves in White Coats report issued by my office at HHS examines a medical system that subjected children to profound interventions while serious questions remained about evidence, about informed consent, and about financial incentives. The report found more than 225 hospitals and health systems established pediatric gender programs nationwide where they preyed on vulnerable children and told families that their kids needed life-altering medical treatments, when what they really needed was compassion and counseling.
So many of these people got rich, not by doing what was good for the patient, but by actually mutilating these kids. It was disgraceful. And if someone broke the law, we are going to hold them accountable.
If the medical establishment failed children, we will confront that failure and restore the sacred duty to do no harm.
And if our public health institutions lost the trust of American families, we're going to earn it back with truth, with transparency, and with gold standard science.
Together, we're going to protect our children, and importantly, we're going to restore trust in public health. When you walk into the doctor's office, you have to know that they're going to do the best by yourselves, by your children, by your family. And we will hold accountable anyone who would betray that trust. We've got so many great doctors. We can't have a few bad doctors tarnish the whole lot. Thank you, everybody.
Well, there you go. Good on the vice president and the whole team finally putting that out there. And I think Chloe Cole, who's a detransitioner, so-called, the fact that that word even exists is a sad, sad thing. But Chloe Cole was a detransitioner, given a lot of these, especially hormone therapies, I believe. And she's been a very public voice, was testifying in front of Congress recently. And it is horrific. We've covered it a lot. On these airwaves, and the right has, I think, rightfully woken up a lot of people to the absurd excesses of this. Here's a little bit of Chloe Cole yesterday talking about it.
Children have the developmental capacity or worldly experience to make decisions like this that are very adult in nature, because this is not just a cosmetic change that these interventions cause to the body. I didn't know how much it would mean for me to lose my ability to breastfeed and potentially my ability to have children at the time that I was allowed to go through this, because I still very much was a child myself. I was still growing up. No child can consent to being sterilized.
Indeed. 272-9228 if you want to get in. But we're going to be shifting gears as we hit the final hour because Troy Carrico's back, baby. So we'll definitely do some Iran stuff and an update on these wars that just keep on keeping on. Dadgum. But we've got some other stories that we might have to kick around. In particular, that one university, I believe Cornell, bans processing wild game on campus after a bear butchering incident. What was the incident? It was an incident of bear butchering. So we'll have to definitely check that out. Oh, by the way, you know the former Miss North Carolina, Miss North Carolina, who was stripped of her title because she used the N-word with the A, not with the hard ER. But she used it a lot online. I believe she's Honduran. She refuses to apologize for using that word. She refuses to apologize. And I'm like, let's go look her up. I don't know how offended a lot of, in particular, black men would be, and a lot of black women, too. Like, you can say what you want. Now, that's just crass, Joey. You saying because she's an attractive woman, she can get away with saying things? Yes, I am saying that. The world is not fair, and it's not right. Maybe she should be more loving and considerate of her fellow human beings, but I'm just saying, She's free to do it. And she's free to be unapologetic about it. And it just shows you who's running pageants these days. As though y'all really cared. 272-9228. We'll be right back after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Help is arriving in Colombia after that deadly and destructive earthquake on Monday. 8 shipments from across the region and some from the United States reaching hard-hit communities while rescue crews continue searching, hoping desperately to find survivors. Many of the worst affected areas are difficult to reach because of extensive damage and remote locations. Some Americans are finally getting some of their tariff money back. FedEx and UPS say they're passing along the refunds they got after a Supreme Court ruling struck down the tariffs imposed by President Trump in 2025. The court also ordered the government to return money that had already been collected. A familiar face of the White House moving on. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says she's leaving the job to spend more time with her 2 young children. She is expected to continue advising President Trump behind the scenes. On Wall Street, the Dow right now off by about 6 points. This is SRN News.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days Diamond Jewelry Giveaway and TV Tuesdays TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22 Shorter, Alabama.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, dangerous heat continues for the next few days. Heat advisory in effect. Mostly sunny today and for the next few days with a high temperature up to about 97 today, 99 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Heat index each day in the 105 to 110 danger range, and the lows at night in the upper 70s. Now, the daily rain chances are not zero, but very small in any given town. Most days 20% or less right on through the upcoming weekend and beyond. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
State Auditor Andrew Sorrell is confident that state lawmakers are going to take real action in the future to close primary elections here in the state. Sorrell is on the Bylaws Committee for the Alabama Republican Party and in the past has offered resolutions that proposed the closed primaries. The most recent move by Sorrell brought the resolution before the entire ALGOP. He talks about it on FM Talk 106.5 out of Mobile.
So this time, my goal was to pass the first ever amendment to the Alabama Republican Party platform. So I authored it. And it said, we believe, we support legislation that would prohibit members of other political parties from voting in our primaries. I brought that to the floor it's been about 10 days ago now. It was the August 1st meeting, and it passed unanimously by voice vote. There was not a single person in there that said no. So now what we've done is we've given the chairman of the Republican Party the ability to go to the legislature and say the party now demands this. We literally put it in our platform. So if a legislator, a senator, a House member is going to vote against party registration, they're not just voting against party registration. They're not just voting against a resolution of the party. They're now voting against the Alabama Republican Party platform.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Mark your calendar for November 6th. The Albert Patterson Gala returns to the Barber Motorsports Museum featuring United States Senator Tommy Tuberville. We've sold out 2 years running and tables are already filling for 2026. If you believe in a thriving Alabama built on truth, courage, and accountability, this is your night. Don't miss your chance. Visit 1819news.com/gala. That's 1819news.com/gala to get your table today.
A brand new high school in Gulf Shores has opened its doors this week for students. There are now 900 students enrolled. The city invested $175 million for this new school to be built. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. How to find the right mortgage lender. Most of all single-family sales involve obtaining a mortgage loan to finance the sale. How do you know you have the right lender? First, always use a local lender. There is no out-of-state lender that can match the services and the interest prices your local lender can provide to you here. We have many good quality lenders to choose from here in the River Region. Some guidelines for a buyer would be, one, can I meet face-to-face with the lender, get to know that person before I turn over all my personal information to a complete stranger? Next, depending on your needs and price range, try to get more than one option with financing to choose from. Very important to know what are all the closing costs and prepaid costs up front so I can make an informed decision on which program to use. For help with a list of top lenders, call Bo Goodson for help. Bo Goodson, 221-2883 at the Goodson Group.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Final hour of the program here on a Thursday. And joining us, returning back to the show, we have right across the desk from me, Troy Carrico. How you doing today?
Well, rumors of my untimely demise were greatly exaggerated, I'm sure, in the forum. So,
yeah, I had a fella call me yesterday. He's like, "When's Carrico coming back?" Like, he'll be back. He'll be back.
I was I was on sabbatical. So yeah.
Yeah. So did you do a lot of bush hogging?
I did a lot of bush hogging, and I still have a leaking seal, which means I got to break that thing again and get a new seal put on. So it's you would you.
Well, nobody
I would
likes
love
a
for you to
leaking
join me
seal.
for 3.5 hours and help me do that sometime.
Yeah, sure. I'll get right on it. Now, one thing I didn't preview, but I want to go this direction. This is from TechCrunch.
Okay.
This is the adversarial, quote unquote, pattern that can prevent surveillance cameras from detecting you. Pretty crazy stuff. It's a guy named Bill Swearingen. He's spent the past year running largely the same test over and over again. The goal was to produce a computer-generated pattern that could block the surveillance cameras lining America's streets from detecting it. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. In fact, let me pull up on the stream so people who are watching, you can always go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube, folks, or follow me on Facebook. So you can actually see this, and it's like maybe we'll actually have a new fashion wave. Looking at some of this stuff here, let me go ahead and add that. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the final hour, by the way, folks. That's 334-272-9228. So if I share that here on the screen, you can kind of see some of it. It's like different floral patterns, almost like plaid and stars and stuff like that.
Like a Kapachka for the camera.
Yeah. But Bill Swearingen has spent the past year running largely the same test over and over again. The goal is to produce a computer-generated pattern that could block surveillance cameras. Some 31 million tests later, Swearingen says he can now produce patterns on demand that, when applied to clothing and objects, prevent some of the most commonly deployed license plate readers and surveillance cameras from detecting whatever the pattern covers, from people to vehicles. His project, which he calls No Recognition, allows people to escape the automatic detection and algorithmic surveillance used across the U.S. and beyond. In recent years, surveillance cameras have been supercharged with the ability to detect what is happening in the footage being recorded. And of course, this is the big recent scare about flock cameras. Right. So he has these computer-generated patterns that do not block surveillance cameras from recording video footage. Instead, they scramble the camera's ability to identify objects, people, or faces so that the cameras do not trigger any detection alerts. Interesting. So it's still seeing it, but it's not seeing it in the advanced way anymore because of these patterns. He said, privacy is a fundamental right, Swearingen told TechCrunch in a call this week. He described his patterns as a way to allow people to opt out of being tracked. Huh. Fascinating.
So there's a 3M product that you can get. There's two. One's a film that you can put over your license plate. It's transparent almost, but it reflects the IR and the EO sensor, and will block your license plate number. And then there's another one that's a spray version of it. You just spray it over, and it's like a gloss, so it doesn't restrict in straight on looking at it. But the electro-optical and the infrared sensors can't read through it.
And there's a car there with some of the pattern. It's a 2009 Toyota Yaris.
Yaris.
At the DEF CON conference in Vegas.
That's a great place for that to be at.
That's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's going to be, I think there's going to be some weird, and especially in the free parts of the world, let's just say some interesting responses to this surveillance state that's rising up. Because it is a bit inevitable, because there are people who are against it, don't want to admit it, but the reason any of this stuff advances is because of the capabilities are very useful for a lot of different reasons, not just the government, for private individuals as well.
It is.
And so that's why it's continuing to grow and grow and grow, because of the use. Now, is the use worth the invasive nature of these things? Like, I was reading something, still email with Judge Napolitano, and his op-ed out this week gets into, like, what is the Fourth Amendment protection? And as you heard this guy creating these patterns said, there is a right to privacy because of the Fourth Amendment. So it's about searching for particular things on a person. If instead what we're going to do is we'll always be recording that person, and we swear we'll never look at it until we suspect them.
Like, for instance,
like that's a different ball game altogether.
I'm going down the road and I decide I want to do a big bump of cocaine right on my dashboard right there, and then next thing you know, you're pulled over a day later and searching your car.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
They start also seeing patterns and knowing things about you don't know about yourself.
Facial recognition, biometrics, all this starts to come into play. And Joey, as you were saying, and you did a good job laying out, you go, we know there's good things that happen from it, but what about the full range? But can we trust our government not to be good stewards of our Fourth Amendment and still achieve what they want to achieve with law enforcement and things of that nature? I doubt it.
I doubt it too. Oh, by the way, OpenAI lost another bigwig. The head of ethics. That's crazy. like the ethics department is in shambles
What
now.
do you think their standard operating procedures look like?
Apparently the leaving was under mysterious circumstances. Oh, she's got crazy eyes.
Who does she?
Yeah, just a little bit of crazy eyes right there. Let's pull that up for you here.
So is she? My question's going to be this before we see her: is she Indian spitting cobra crazy or bat poo poo crazy, guana crazy?
I'll let you decide. Let me pull her up. Yeah, here she is.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 You hit her upside the head, and snakes will come out of her head.
Her name is Chloe Bacalar. She left her post as AI's ethics lead in July, less than a year after joining the company. Wow. So it wasn't even there long. Huh.
She looks like a dude.
Yeah.
They should be trans.
You never know. You never know in this day and age. But as the Financial Times reports, Chloe Bacalar left her post, and there's currently no replacement lined up, suggesting shifting priorities at the company. Huh. So we don't even need a head of ethics. We don't even need ethics. Who needs ethics?
We need more guardrails, and we need to keep this thing inside the boundaries.
Right. Of course, this is in the midst of OpenAI having this broken containment thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's
keep them
great.
inside the box.
Yeah, but I mean, who needs ethics when we can't even keep them in their sandbox?
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That's
insane.
probably their number one. Like any organization, when you create an idea, a product, a project, you kind of build the plane while you fly it. Well, this is a very dangerous field to be building the plane as you're flying it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we've seen that.
Now, what was her job? Bach-Kalar had been primarily tasked with coming up with ethical approaches to AI model development and studying how AI interacts with humans. Ethics is actually everyone's responsibility, and I say that as someone whose job it is to lead this work. She told audiences during a recent AI conference, as quoted by the newspaper, you shouldn't just come to people like me. There should never be one person who serves as the moral center of an AI developer. Yeah, I suppose that's right.
She said a lot of things, but I didn't hear anything.
It's everyone's responsibility. But what's your job? Like, so if you don't want to be responsible for it, though it's everybody's responsibility. But I don't know. Like, maybe they found some other way where the AI could just regulate its own ethical behavior.
She sounds to me when she said that, and as you read it now, I'm thinking about she's dispersing the blame. She's like, it's everybody. It's not just the ethics officers. All of you, the designers, the coders,
all of us.
It's like the bartender. I didn't get drunk last night. That guy overserved me.
So yeah. Anyway, the AI stuff just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and I didn't have a heart because we talked about Hinckley yesterday.
Oh. I saw him contacting Jay.
I've just reminded myself in the audience of like, why did he shoot Reagan? And it was, he got this fixation on the movie Taxi Driver, which led to the fixation on Jodie Foster.
That's right.
And he thought by shooting Reagan, Jodie Foster would like fall in love with him or something. And yesterday in the news, he came out and said, well, I wish her well. And it's like, keep her name out of your mouth, you weirdo. Because he's out. He's been free for years.
He's in Minnesota, I think.
So I was thinking, that's just Taxi Driver, like the 70s and early 80s. Somebody fixate. Can you imagine now that we have things people fixate on that encourage you back? In fact, I saw a story in the New York Post. Honestly, don't want to go into the details, but a guy asked ChatGPT for murder fantasies, and then he proceeded to play them out with his own family members. This was exactly what I was talking about yesterday. Like, this is crazy stuff. We're going into crazy.
Listen, speaking.
It makes Hinckley look like a kind of a nice guy.
Well, yeah, he's just a minor freak. But here's the thing. Have you listened to Rex's new voice, at least on Unhinged Guy?
No, I haven't listened. I don't mess with that.
He talks, listen, he used to be his enunciation was clear. It was very pointed like that. And he goes, now he kind of talks like I do some. And I said, what's up with the voice change? I said, I noticed did they drop?
Are you mimicking?
I said, did they drop? He goes, they gave me a testosterone. That's what he said.
Oh, my goodness. Like some of the modeling stuff.
He's got a raspiness to him now.
Some of the modeling stuff, I don't know about that.
Kind of weird, isn't it?
But we're just running through a few different stories here. Now, this next one that really caught my eye, this is the University of Cornell.
Oh, yeah.
The headline reads, Cornell bans processing wild game on campus after bear butchering incident. Policy change prompted by two students who legally hunted bear.
So they had a tag.
Took carcass to dorm to butcher. Yeah, they've banned not just bears, the butchering of all wild animals on its campus, in its campus community living spaces after two students stirred up controversy last fall when they hunted a black bear and brought the carcass back to their dorm kitchen for processing. The dorm kitchen. The New York University, based in a rural south central region of the state, changed its policy this summer as a direct result of the incident. Yada, yada, yada. But processing wild game animals in community kitchens is strictly prohibited, the new addition to the policy states. An investigation found that the students hunted the bear legally and the university did not discipline them. The incident took place last September and quickly drew backlash on campus and later online. Aaron Chin, a junior at the time, and another unnamed student hunted the bear and then brought the carcass back to campus where they skinned and then processed the meat in a dormitory kitchen. Later, on the Meat Eater podcast, Chin explained that they initially had planned to take the bear to a friend's house to butcher it, but an emergency situation came up and that prevented them from using the home. Chin said he and his friend checked on campus rules before they brought the bear to their dorm kitchen and found that they would not be breaking any. He also said they needed to find a place quickly because they didn't want the meat to spoil. We were really diligent in reading all the rules and regulations. We made sure we did everything by the book because we knew we were going to be under scrutiny, including the sanitizing the area with bleach afterwards.
Good.
After their actions became known, however, it resulted in a huge uproar, first on campus and then in the news media. Cornell shut down the kitchen for 2 days.
Biohazard suits.
2 days, and had it fully sanitized. Chin said that because Cornell is located in a rural area with lots of forest, the campus has a hunter's community. He said he and his friends did find support from some local officials and people on campus. I got to wonder, when you think skinning and processing a whole black bear smells?
No, let me tell you what. Have you ever seen it done?
No.
So,
like I've seen deer.
I have, and I can tell you something. When you see a bear after the skin is pulled off, after you slit and you tear and pull it off, it looks like a person, like a long leg. It looks like a human. It's very humanoidish when the body's stretched out, thicker, obviously, but it's kind of strange to see that the muscle and tendon. It looks like if you stood him up, it's a person, man. It's weird.
So that's going to freak people out.
Oh, that freak. I'm sure a girl goes, ah! And the thing is, it doesn't stink per se, but the entrails.
Well, as long as you don't
puncture in the entrails and just get the skin off. But I'm surprised they were able to do that. They must have had a bevy of filleting tools and all that. So
yeah, it looks like they knew what they were doing, and it's just some everyday college folks there at Cornell couldn't handle it.
So was it last name Chen? Did you say Chen? Yeah, he must be an Asian American. He's like a hero in the hunting community there.
Anyway,
smartest guy there.
We go from hunting bear to hunting human beings. How long is the Iran war going to be going?
Yeah,
man. I don't know, because I saw a lot of stuff in the news today. Iran threatening, we'll drag it out to the midterms, and we're producing more missiles than you're destroying. And part of me's like, that's just BS. It's just BS. But before I get into the great write-up here by Victor Davis Hanson, I hadn't talked to you in a second about this. Like, where are we at with the whole Iran?
So Sean Sullivan and I were talking about this the other day, and I think that where I'm at right now is, unfortunately, we see the limitations of Trump and his abilities in certain fields of practice. National security is questionable, not so much as foreign policy is. Foreign policy right now is he's used to getting his way by tariff this, I threaten you that. You can't threaten these people. You can't intimidate these people. I've spoken to everybody about this at length. They understand, but one dialect, it is the sword. And if you don't wield it, they're going to be more defiant and they're going to claim victory, and they should claim victory. In my opinion, Iran has been decimated to a degree, but it can rebuild itself once we take our eye off the oil situation. And that will happen. The sustainment of the Navy over there got people really 278 days out, which I laugh at that when I think 278 days. How about 6 years? How about 5 years? Come home at victor or come home on your shield.
Yeah.
But that's the new mentality because...
was that review. What, people are jumping off the ship?
Yeah, they were trying to, they said. But, I mean, you always have a few. And the media may blow that out. 2 people decided they wanted out, whatever. That happens. I mean, combat is rough. It's rough. And the thing is, my thoughts are this, Joey. They say there's a munition shortage. Let me explain something to you. There's only one munition shortage, and that's in mid-level and high-level interceptors, SAMs, and anti-ballistic missile and anti-drone technology stuff. We're filling that gap with microwave, with other radiation jamming and EW. The Ukrainians are helping us. Here's the thing. We have plenty of offensive weapons. And what the plan was from the Joint Chief of Staff, as I understand it directly from Bull Gerfen, who works there in the Pentagon, and he shared a few details with me, not classified, but he said, here was the plan. Raising Cain went to the president and said, sir, if you want me to prosecute this war, will you give me you want me to win this war for you? Will you give me a couple days to put something together? Stop with the piecemeal attacks. That's not, that's just expending our munitions in that. If we tit for tat with them, they send more drones and missiles into our Gulf Arab partners. We're having to burn our interceptors on it. Stop doing that. Let's put together a 2-week plan of massive bombardment. And that will destroy their launching capabilities, so they can't keep firing them. But if we keep doing boom, boom, and they go boom, 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 boom,
right.
It's like boom, 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 and then see what's left.
Right.
And that he opted not to do that.
And this is fascinating because I think this thing about the read from Victor Davis Hanson actually strikes the balance between what a lot of folks were. Certain corners got real mad at J.D. Vance with the negotiations, but if you actually look at what they set up, they never took the python, say, from restricting Iran, especially economically. And so I think this is actually a long-run plan of squeeze, 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 and then try to negotiate, squeeze, 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 and react. But, so Iran's now doing this. Will outlast you, and will continue to do the tit for tat, like you just said, the Joint Chiefs are tired of, and a lot of people are tired of. Well, listen to this from Victor Davis Hanson because it's a bit of the best of both worlds.
I think I've heard this, but go ahead. Yeah.
So we're about 160 days now into the so-called Iran war, and we're 84 days from the midterm elections, give or take. The administration has given some indication all week that they're close to yet another deal. This is the 7th or 8th time they said a deal was at hand. But this time, people like Scott Bessent and Marco Rubio confirmed Donald Trump's optimism. And the deal would be that there would be a cooling off period of no kinetic activity, and they would open the straits, and then they would pledge to make a good faith effort about the nuclear enrichment problem, et cetera. In other words, we've seen all these negotiations. I think there's been 8 iterations where they promised to either turn over their nuclear enrichment or tell us where it is, where it can be destroyed, or that they would ensure that the Strait of Hormuz was an international waterway, or that they would cut off their subsidies to Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas, or they wouldn't use their vestigial missile force to hit our allies in the Gulf. And on every occasion, they've either denied that they've said that, or they've lied and said that we weren't close to an agreement, or they've launched missiles at especially the United Arab Emirates, or they've tried to obstruct traffic. So why are we doing this again and again now? Asked Victor Davis Hanson, and I can tell you why. Each side has a position. The United States knows that this war, as we head into 85 days, 83, 84 days, when you hear this into the midterm elections, it's not popular. People don't really care about Iran anymore. Now that it's been defanged, they were for the idea of neutralizing it, and it is pretty much neutralized. It has no military capability to wage a serious war. Its military-industrial nuclear complex has been neutralized. They're just tired of it, and they're tired of the disruption worldwide, and especially in the Strait of Hormuz, that raised their gas prices due to speculation up to $3.50 to $3.70, in some states $4 a gallon. They want it over with, and the Iranians know that. So the Iranians want to negotiate, and then launch a missile, send some boats out to attack a tanker to do something contrary to what they said. Then we get angry and we hit them, and then they get paranoid that they're going to be hit hard, so they want to talk, and we go through these cycles. And they feel that we go through the cycles, we get closer and closer to the midterms, and therefore the Iranians, have more leverage on Donald Trump. Maybe they can force the Democrats' hand. In other words, the Democrats may win, they may cut off funds. It's kind of a long shot. That's their strategy. And what's our strategy, the United States? Why does Donald Trump put up with it? He has a strategy, too, that while they're talking, and they're breaking their talk, they're getting poorer. We did not lift the sanctions. We did not lift the embargo. We did not cancel their bank accounts. We have debanked them, and they have a blockade around them every day. They're losing $400 million to $500 million a day. They talk all they want, but the facts on the ground show they're going broke. So the Trump administration's attitude is, as long as we're not conducting a full-scale war and the American people don't think we're at war, and as long as we're negotiating, we'll negotiate till hell freezes over. And we don't really care because we're winning every single day. They're getting poorer and poorer to the point where they're either going to implode, there's going to be a revolution in the streets, or they're going to collapse and agree to it. Now, that strategy is pretty smart, but it depends, from the American point of view, on one important thing. As they get to the midterms and Iran sees that while it has increased the unpopularity of the war, and as it has raised the price of gas and has created global uncertainty, it still has not been able to ensure that Donald Trump will lose the midterms. So they need some dramatic event to remind the American people they're still at war, and the price of gas will get higher, and the Europeans or our Asian friends will be angrier at us. What will that mean? I'd imagine it would will have a late October surprise. Right before the elections, they will try to do something dramatic. The Iranians will empty their last missiles, hit the Gulf, attack Israel, try to go after a carrier. Anything that would remind the Americans that the war was not winding down, but with this last gasp, sort of like the German Battle of the Bulge, the Ardennes offensive, where they marshaled all of their final resources and tried to stage a dramatic counteroffensive to remind the Allies they could still lose the war and they should negotiate, or something to that effect. So what does that leave us? I think the Trump administration should keep talking, keep all the sanctions and blockades, keep them on. But because Iran will probably do something dramatic, they should do something dramatic.
Yep.
In other words, if they have a list of targets, command and control, dual-use facilities, missile inventories, and caches, and they think Pickaxe Mountain might be vulnerable, they could actually do some damage there. They should do it all and keep talking and get this dramatic element out of the way before the midterm so that Iran would be substantially reduced in its nuclear industrial military capability. It already is, but try to preempt them and hit them very, very hard and then keep talking. And then the American people will see they're getting more and more desperate. But don't be reactive, because trust us, they're going to try something dramatic to bring home the idea the war is not over and they're not defeated and gas will go up. But if you do something dramatic now and keep talking, you may hasten or accelerate the pace of negotiations. That is the pace at which Iran is losing and going absolutely broke. And that could happen faster than we anticipate. And there's at least an outside chance that they will be in a far, far weaker place by the midterm elections in 83 days than they are now. Again, that's all Victor Davis Hanson's take. I thought it was interesting and sort of taking account of all the things that are at our disposal. So it sounds like do a big dramatic strike, but continue with the daily attrition through the financial channel.
So here's what I think is really a couple things. Number one, that have to be considered. Number one, they're using a planned action of wait, negotiate, fire, wait, negotiate, fire, because they believe they can outlast us. Now, something that's important to bear in mind, sustainment of deployed troops you got to have a reconstitution cycle. You have to be able to bring back and push forward. So they're trying to stress us right now in that regard. It's a good strategy. Number two, Israel has made it abundantly clear they are not going to agree to anything under any of these terms, and they reserve the right to do what they need to do. And I pray they would. I'm going to be honest with you, Joey. I would say the only victory we've had was the ability to knock out Natanz and the other two nuclear sites. But how did that happen, Joey? Because the Israelis 6 months before prepped a whole area of a flight path that they could get their planes in safely in. Israel has been the one that killed the Khamenei. Israel knows where everyone's at all times, what their patterns are, they got people inside the system. And like Victor David Hanson, I wrote earlier than he even said that. I did it on Substack. There's about 6 to 12 identified key nodes that are command and control by Israeli intelligence that said if we knock these out, we will be able to basically blind the rest of their forces. And here's the other thing about the economic war. I like the idea of the anaconda stretching them out, but problem is this, Joey. It only hurts the people. It doesn't hurt the leaders.
Yeah.
They got plenty of money. And and now if you're doing that, Joey, drop weapons and start getting them in where we can get the fight and the people can fight for themselves.
Now, how long though can you pay people to fight? How much is this loyalty of the broader security forces? Is it an actual to the day I will die, I will fall my sword, or is it a mercenary thing?
It's a mercenary group. They're cartel. Come on, they're a cartel. Right. Yeah, there's an ideologue to it, but here's the thing. It's not just the money. They usually get benefits like free food. They get all these great things. Well, for hampering their economy in terms of exports, imports, then it may not be getting all the things they wanted, like gas for their car, whatever it might be. So it's more than just money for the IRGC and the Basaj thugs and all them.
Yeah, and you got to wonder when's that trigger going to be pulled, because Trump's been back and forth. And again, it makes sense that he himself told the press, we're low-key in it right now, because they really are seeing the sort of just every day you're losing hundreds of millions of dollars, and you already didn't have that much money built up. And in a way, it's a slow-mo version of what they've done to Venezuela, what they've threatened to a lot of other Latin American countries. We'll see. But again, Cuba's still standing.
It is. But
some regimes can last.
Well, the thing to take away from this, though, Joey, is right now, Russia, China are taking notes. They've learned a lot, as much as we've learned about drone warfare. They've learned a lot about what our vulnerabilities are and what they're going to continue to be.
By the way, I believe more than ever, and I don't know how to do this. And maybe it's not possible, and so be it. It's inevitable. But that war, Ukraine, Russia, needs to end. Because right now,
it's bad.
Like, you're not just talking about like an escalation in terms of the technological changes and how the war is being fought. Think about the spiritual scarring and the resentment that was already there and where it's at now. As body bags keep coming back home from the front on both sides. And you start to see now more and more strikes in Russia proper, in Ukraine proper, as it already was.
More civilian deaths, yeah.
Like, having that open sore on the face of the earth we are playing with fire. Now, how do you get Putin to stop?
Kill him.
How do you get,
kill him. You got to kill him.
But I don't know. It's the question when that war started in the back of my mind. I was wrong about a lot of things. A lot of people are all over the place, and welcome to war, folks.
Listen,
it's great.
It's ugly.
Very few people predicted every little move correctly. Got some things. Anyway, that's the nature of these sorts of things. But one question from the beginning has not gone away. No. If you fully back Russia into a corner, what do they do?
They won't go nuclear.
I'm not even thinking nukes, though. I'll put it this way. I think, in a way, we were very blessed. I use that word on purpose. Blessed that the fall of the Soviet Union went as smoothly as it did.
We missed, though, I would argue, yes, but we missed a golden opportunity to bring them into the fold. We let them languish, and that's what caused problems.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm saying, you want to run that experiment again?
Yeah.
With the Russians?
It might not go so well the next time.
Right. And again, it's hard to, I don't think it'd be full nukes, but I at least don't want to think that. But it's hard, again, with the new technology, it's hard to predict where all this is going the longer it just grinds and grinds.
People talk about the damage that's been done to their critical infrastructure in terms of oil and gas and all that. It's the wild berries. That's going to make the people feel it. Have you been tracking that?
No, I haven't.
So wild berries is their Amazon. I talked to you about it. I think.
Yeah.
Check it out. There's 28 distribution centers throughout the country. It accounts for 60% of all retail in Russia. Everybody orders their stuff from wild berries. They've destroyed 17 of the 28 and 4 of the biggest, and the people are losing all their money. These businesses that do online retailers and stuff, it's causing a lot of pain for the Russians because it's bringing the war to Moscow, to Leningrad, to Stalingrad, to St. Petersburg, to Irkutsk. All these remote places are now feeling the burn from the war.
And it is a heck of a thing if you zoom out of the map and you don't look at the particulars of the Iran war, you don't look at the particulars of Russia and Ukraine. You go, it's almost like it's a clash between East and West on more of the, say, poorer fronts of that long-term clash between the United States and China. Like right there, right next to the little partner, Russia. Right there, right next to the even littler partner, Iran. To me, Iran clearly has aspects of it about the American interest in this, and Trump's approach, and I think it's why he's taking the slow approach, is to use the opportunity to completely reset the Middle East. He wants to give a much more prominent position, it looks like, to the Gulf Arabs.
He does.
And actually, this makes sense for a lot of reasons why they're going that route. It's the whole basis, really, of the Abraham Accords. But with the problem I'm having with the Russia-Ukraine thing is, like, where does this leave Europe? Because I don't think Eastern Europe is a problem. I think, for instance, the most nationalistic alive seem to be the Polish.
The Polish they're our greatest ally in NATO.
But you look at the rest of how much you would think this war would help invigorate NATO and the European spirit. And it's look at the Europeans.
They can't get out of their own way. Victory has defeated them, and we've made it softer for them throughout time. And it's going to cause a bloody nose. But I wanted to say something about this is important. You say the Gulf Arab countries are being elevated. They are, much to the chagrin of the Saudis. The Saudis, the Pakistanis, and the Turks have formed their own little bloc to block the interest of America. So I say this, there is a caste system in the Arab world, and it goes like this. The Saudis hold themselves at the very highest, and the Yemenis, and then it goes down to basically Egypt's at the bottom, Gulf Arabs are in the middle somewhere, and you've got
Turkey claims
the
to be
Syrians
in
are kind of up there. It just is a weird Turks. Turks are kind of adjunct on the line block chart because they're kind of Europe, they're Asia Minor. But the thing about it is that you're right. He is trying to make the Gulf Arabs more involved because they're more rational, they're more logical, they got more at stake. The Saudis don't like that, and it's going to continue to cause problems.
It's going to be interesting because Saudis, they would love to hear this, but they are the crown jewel of any sort of Abraham Accords idea.
It is
like they are the final.
They're the center of Islam.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We'll see. We'll see. It's just what a mess. And, you know, we just talked about it for 30 minutes there?
We did.
Yeah, what a mess. And for all the confident things you'll see in the news and all the confidence you or I might have, it's like, pray to God, folks. Pray to God on this one. Especially, I don't know, I just have a feeling about Ukraine that that needs to end. And I don't know how to do it, but it needs to end.
Fast. Yep.
Before it gets really out of hand. Anyway, we got to hit this break. This part of the program is brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with, termites, mosquitoes. Maybe you have too many fire ants. Maybe you're just looking for a great local pest control company that's going to do it for a great reasonable cost and be able to service your property on a regular basis, and you have no problems. That's Pest Pro Services. Or it could be you got like a squirrel in your attic. That's no fun. Even a cute little chipmunk. That thing's destroying your home.
They look like
biting
little beavers.
Or it could be something even worse in terms of wildlife. They have the Wildlife Control Service there at Pest Pro Services. Point is, you want to get in touch with these folks because not only are they good at what they do, they give back to the community. And it's a great success story we've seen out of the pandemic. And their success is really a sign of how good they are. A lot of folks trust them here in the River region now, and why don't you be the next person? Trust Pest Pro Services with your pest control needs. Check them out today. You can always go to ppsriverregion.com to learn more, or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, or just call them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector.
That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig?
No, but it looks like you do.
And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich?
What's that?
I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man.
You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist?
That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE.
You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest.
You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience.
Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold.
That's right, man.
And I can see that you don't have very much experience.
What do you mean, man?
Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich.
Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first.
You think he's got a shovel?
Never know till you ask.
I dig, man.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
WAKA Blue Water Broadcasting, Tyndall Incorporated, and Piggly Wiggly Food for Less invite you to help us stuff the truck on Saturday, August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sturbridge Piggly Wiggly Food for Less. Donate non-perishable food, classroom supplies, or cash to help local students facing food insecurity and support our teachers. Visit WAKA.com for a shopping list and stop by our community resource fair for valuable services and information for River Region families. Together, we can stuff the truck and strengthen our community.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles. Drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products, and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are stuck in a very intense and kind of dangerous weather pattern as far as heat goes, and I expect that to continue right on through the weekend and beyond. Even the nights are very oppressive with lows in the upper 70s, and the daily rain chance is very small, but not quite zero. Most towns will stay dry with generally rain chances 20% or less each day. I've got the actual high temperatures up to about 99. Friday, Saturday, Sunday with heat indices in the 105 to 110 danger range. Slow down, take it easy, stay hydrated. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico joined us for the last hour. We'll get the whole gang back together tomorrow.
All right.
And let's go to East of the Rockies. He's been patient. Hey, East, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. Listen, I've got a question for Troy. It has to do with the strategic resource. Word has come to me that we may be running short of computer chips again, and that will hinder the production of cars here locally in Alabama. In your circles, do you guys ever discuss why we don't produce computer chips here in the United States?
Yep. We do. And I can tell you that there is a new council that was set up in 2025 in the Department of Defense, and it's called the I believe it's called the Industrial Defense Coordination Council or what. I'll give Joey the name of it, but there is a council that's set up, and each branch of the military was able to direct commission 10 to 12 industry execs into the reserves so they could serve in a lieutenant colonel capacity as a director of these kind of strategic technological components. Now, the chips are being addressed because right now, I believe in the next 6 to 9 months, the largest chip manufacturing facility in the world is being built right now with the help of Taiwan processors in Columbus, Ohio, right outside of Columbus, Ohio, and more to follow. But yes, that is always a problem. And you know what they say, East and Joey? They say that experts talk about, amateurs talk about strategy, they talk about tactics, they talk about weapons. Experts talk about logistics. And you cannot fight if it can't be sustained. And that's the problem. So, yes, it is being addressed. It was being addressed some time ago. My problem is this, though, guys. How long does it take you to ramp something up, man? World War II, we were pumping out. Yep. You know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. And that's the thing right now. And I'm not seeing a lot of that going on at least where I'm sitting at. I'm sure it is, though.
Well, and I think about how are we going to grow economically as a nation if, say, for instance, Taiwan is attacked or blockaded. How are we going to get chips to build cars?
Yeah. Listen, it's, do you remember at the onset of the Ukrainian war, fellows, do you remember what was going on? They were stealing washers, dryers, microwaves, the Russians were. It wasn't to sell them or return them home. They wanted the chips and components out of it. Yep. So, yeah, you're right. Here's the thing, though. We have a strategic petroleum reserve, correct? Well, sometimes we do. It depends on how much they deplete it. We should have strategic reserves of other. And again, that's what that council was set up to do. Rare earth minerals, certain components that are necessary for manufacturing and sustainment of the reconstitution of our munitions and our forces. That's already underway, but we're a little bit behind the power curve.
Well, and also, think of all the technologies that has been sold to Taiwan, the way the Taiwanese have probably created their strategies.
Yeah.
China's probably watching what Russia's done, what the United States is doing in Iran, and realizing the technology's gone. You could pummel a place, but asymmetrical defenses are very capable these days. And that island, that unsinkable aircraft carrier, is already enough of an asymmetrical defense because crossing the straits ain't easy. If most of your stuff is underground, in terms of critical infrastructure is underground, and how much do you want to destroy the island when it's worth that much? I think the Chinese would much prefer not rolling the dice there and would prefer winning, say, a political race, like their party that's pro-China wins in Taiwan. I don't know. I think actually the strategic ambiguity of Taiwan is working for the time being. Now watch them invade tomorrow, and I'm just wrong. But, it just doesn't seem like this would be a wise move on the part of the Chinese to try to move right now.
I think you're right. And I think in East, as I listened to Joey talk about how tough it is with asymmetric defenses and full spectrum warfare, what's the one component that we're missing right now for victory? Boots on the ground. That's how you win. You got to put infantrymen down. You got to go underground. Yeah. You got to root out the firing points. You got to destroy their stockpiles.
But the boots on the ground in Ukraine immediately get killed by drones.
Yeah, but now that can be mitigated too. Right. Listen, it can. Would we have losses? Yeah, but combat sucks. Okay, I mean, I'm telling you now. A warrior does not want combat, but if you do, those people are trained to fight, and that's what they do.
Well, with China, it's like, we sent the boots on the ground, but they're under the sea now. What? Dadgummit. We couldn't get them over there.
They couldn't walk water.
Anyway, I appreciate the call.
Troy, I appreciate your time.
Hey, brother, you're not wrong, though. Yeah. Just keep tuned. We'll see what happens, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, he hit the nail on the head. That is the crucial supply choke point. It's why we're trying to build up, as you said, the huge fabrication place in Ohio. I think there's one in Arizona that's being built up as well.
There is, yep.
But the problem is, what is it called? The Innovation Horizon is expensive, and it's very difficult. Like the Taiwanese, to their credit, the expertise they came up with in that industry is remarkable. But it's funny, the spinoff effects to geopolitics. And again, it's almost like East versus West, China versus U.S. is a very real thing. You're seeing it in Iran and in Ukraine, and Of course, Taiwan is the other major fault line.
The best place, the best laboratory in the world for weapons development is somebody else's backyard combat.
Yeah. Well, did you see the Iranians were like, we'll take the fight to the American homeland? And folks are just like, oh, yeah, come on.
Come on and bring it. Have you ever seen online? There's so many stupid things online, but one of them I saw on YouTube. How would these nations' armies fare against the American public in combat?
Yeah.
I don't
want that day to happen, but I know you. I know a few other folks have just been waiting.
We got our fangs out.
Fangs out, baby. Anyway, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back. But actually, first, this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And there at Dillon Rings, by the way, Josh texted me and said that woman looks like a salamander. The one who just quit her job for OpenAI.
She does.
Yeah,
she does.
Actually, Josh, you're right about that. And of course, there at Dillon Rings, Josh the jeweler, he can make anything. He made this beautiful Sacred Art pendant hanging around my neck out of rose gold. He did a beautiful job with it.
Sure did.
And then, of course, he can make something from scratch like he did for this, or maybe you want to repair something or rework something. You inherited it, so it's actually a style or fashion that you would actually wear all the time. Of course, it could also be you want to combine pieces of jewelry or clean them up. Maybe it's something you wear all the time, looks like you've worn it for years on end. What if it could shine and shimmer like it's brand new again? And not to mention their amazing inventory. We talked about the Art Deco dinner ring they have available, like beautiful, cool. Big old ring, like reminds you of the roaring 20s.
Right, yeah.
And
Elda Fitzgerald.
But of course, they also have like everyday jewelry stuff, like starter sets, charm bracelets, all sorts of great things there at Dillon Rings. So stop by today, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, and be sure to tell them that Joey Troy, those cells on the radio sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments here of the program. That means it's time. Don't know why I sang that. To talk to Ray Bowles with Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm great. How you doing out here battling the heat today?
Yeah, man, it is.
It's a good day. I've ate some chicken and waffles this morning. Talked about studying why people won't quit smoking menthol cigarettes. It's been a good day.
It's been a great day.
Yeah, I tell you, I was telling somebody a little while ago, they were complaining about the heat. I said, whoa, don't complain about it. This is actually good stuff. Because if we didn't have 103 temperatures for 3 weeks in a row, you know how many people would live here? We wouldn't be able to move around this city. This is the one thing that protects our state from turning into California.
Ugh.
Because for some reason, you get a bunch of people living in the same area, they all go insane. It makes no sense why they vote the way they vote.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're right. The humidity is a curse, but we should thank God for that as a blessing. Yeah. It keeps the bad folks out.
It's it's a blessing. But you know, I'm the type. I just don't complain. I don't complain. You bring me if I sit down and order a steak dinner and they bring me out chicken, I'm going to eat it and pay for it.
Yeah.
It drives Auntie nuts. She's like, why won't you say so? I'm like, because this poor little lady, it ain't her fault. The cook in the back got it wrong. Well, she wrote it down wrong. Who knows? Let's not. She must be having a bad day. Let's not add on to it. Just because we're such happy people at Proper Carpet. If you want to deal with really happy people, call 334-799. Oh, no, that's myself. Don't call that. Call 285-8117 for new floors. How about that?
285-8117. That's 285-8117. They don't complain. They solve problems. They're happy, and they're going to make you happy with a brand new floor. Help them out by letting them help you. If that makes sense.
Be careful in this heat. Stay cool. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Cool. Appreciate you, Ray. So, you learn anything in this last hour?
I've learned that I'm glad that I wasn't on when Duke was on when I was driving.
Yeah?
Yeah, that made me feel good because I let him go with you.
I love Duke.
I love Duke too.
Like, Duke was well behaved. For
He
the
was.
most part
I
today.
noticed that. Maybe I bring out some of his honoriness. I'm not sure.
Oh, it depends on the day. You
Yeah,
just
of
be
course.
like, Trump's the greatest, man.
He's a direct descendant of the mayonnaise fortune too.
Duke's mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's right. He's part of the Duke's mayonnaise clan. All right.
Anyway, hey, Greg, how are you?
Joey.
How's life?
Great.
That's good. Feeling better?
No.
No. I didn't think
By the way, we did hit 100 degrees this afternoon. Didn't break the record, which is 104. And it's the first time we've been at 100 degrees since August 24th, 2 years ago.
Wow.
What is wrong with Rich Thomas? Why won't he bring the temperatures down?
Tried to reason with him, and I'm getting nowhere fast.
He's the heat miser.
Yeah. Although it looks like it might rain. We have a couple of fat clouds that look like they could become thunderstorms.
Anyway,
There's hope.
we got to get out of here. Happy hour. They got a whole crew. They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. International relief efforts ramping up all across Colombia following this week's power